you're out there, you're riding, you're having a good time, and taking in the outdoors.
The fight isn't over. The fight is just beginning.
What's going on, guys? This is Carl with the RacerRed channel. So right now I'm on Special Test 2, going down some pretty steep terrain right here. And so this is the Idaho City 100. This is the first time I've done a proper enduro, which it's definitely an experience. It's a different race for sure. There's a lot to take into consideration when you're doing an actual enduro. So I just showed up without researching enduros whatsoever. I've never done one, like I said, so I had no idea what I was doing. I kind of looked like an idiot, but it was way simpler than what I thought it would be. I actually was way overthinking it. Lucky for me, one of the guys on my time, actually two of them, they were super, super nice and helped me out and kept me on the minute, kind of just let me know what time I needed to be at each minute, so that helped a huge amount. So I appreciate those guys. It seemed like the workers and stuff like that got friendlier and friendlier as you went through the race. At the very start, that's one thing about these races, especially being an AMA national event, you definitely want to know what you're doing before you get on the starting line. Like I tried to warm up my bike, and the guy at the starting line just about had a coronary. So just little things like that. You definitely want to figure out exactly what you're doing, because one little thing wrong like that could really, disqualify you, or you get the wrong person in there who sees you do something, and it could really screw up your day. So just little things like having a red gas can, which I didn't have for this race, really could mess up your whole race. So that's definitely something to take into consideration if you've never done an enduro before. It's pretty official, and it's they definitely play by the rules, I'll put it that way. You have to know what you're doing. I completely didn't know the format, or didn't understand the format, so I just figured it was a race. And so I was spending a lot of energy where I didn't need to. Like, apparently you just kind of ride along. You don't really need to race most of the time until you get to these special tests. And I knew the special tests were important, but I didn't know how important they were, so I wasn't going full speed during the special tests. I was still conserving energy, which later on I found out you really should just go as fast as you can on these special tests. This year I'm doing all kinds of different races. I'm doing a lot of different race formats, so each one is a little bit different. Personally, I prefer a race where you just go as fast as you can, and that's a race format to me that really makes sense, because you're racing the entire time, whereas an enduro, it's more about how you can keep track of your own time. This race would have been a great one to have the 450 four-stroke in. This open terrain where you could just roll it on and stuff would have been an awesome place for a four-stroke. Unfortunately, my 450 is still under the knife. The engine is out of it. I have to go pick up the parts still. They just got in late last week, so I'm going to pick those up and hopefully get my 450 back up and going. But yeah, it would have done great in this race. I know the two-stroke doesn't really handle high speeds very well. My suspension's kind of sketchy, that's for sure. So, but in this, for this event, I took the ambulance, took the Ambo, and spent the night with my daughter and everything. And one thing about it, taking her to races is just a ton of fun. I love doing it, but man, it's exhausting. She's definitely a handful, and it can get pretty exhausting. So I definitely don't sleep the best or anything like that. And I'm kind of juggling a lot more than what I really should when I'm trying to race. So I wouldn't trade it for the world. I mean, it's an awesome experience with her and everything. It's just I definitely need to streamline that whole process. She loves going to the races, though, so I'll definitely be taking her to more of them, and hopefully I'll get it streamlined and figured out and make it a little bit easier to take her on there. Ambulance has been an awesome vehicle so far, even with my amateur renovations. It hasn't caught on fire yet, so it's been pretty awesome. So it's it's pretty legit. You can watch some movies in there. Last night I watched Home Alone, just hanging out in the ambulance. Got the fridge in there, the microwave, everything I need. So anyways, guys, this was my second weekend in a row racing 5 to 6 hours. So I'm still all bruised up from the weekend before, but man, I wouldn't have it any other way. It's so fun. This is exactly what I love to do. So it really felt like I rode most of Idaho City. I burned through a tank and a half of fuel, and really, you're keeping a pretty good pace for the whole day. So feels like I really covered a lot of ground, that's for sure. So yeah, although I didn't like it at first, I didn't really like this race at first, I'm being totally honest here. I started to like it once I got onto the course. So it was pretty fun once I got onto the course. I'm not making any excuses here, but I was completely exhausted before I even started the race. So I was just trying to hold it together. I was pretty exhausted, but it was pretty fun. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of trying to figure out how to do things on the fly. It's probably not the event's fault. It's definitely my fault, not being prepared, but that's just one of those things you have to go in knowing and do your research before you go into one of these events. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoy the video. This is Special Test 2, like I said, and I'll let it play out from here. Catch you guys on the next section. Peace.